Hello, Fems. Happy Monday. I am Violet Danielle. I'm the founder and CEO of FemCity, and you're joining me today for our Monday Motivation series. Every Monday, I hop on here at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, and I always have with me a beautiful and very inspirational, motivational guest as well. And today I have Linda, and I love saying your last name, and I'm hoping I'm saying it correctly, Babulic. I think it's one of the most enjoyable last names to say. For those of you that do not know Linda, she is one of our FemCity Global members. She actually does teach and speak and coach for us often. Her energy is always amazing. She's a best-selling author. She helps people find their path. She helps people make money. And her really just always has good vibes, Linda. So I'm so grateful that you are taking the time today to share some motivation with our femmes. Do you want to add anything to your little shout out to you?
No, I think that's good. I think you covered it. Let's get at it.
Let's do it. All right. So the month of October. Yeah, exactly. Let's do it. Let's do it. So for those of you that are not familiar with FemCity, so every month we actually have a theme, and it helps us to coordinate conversations that are geared towards places that we feel that we really need to kind of focus on. And so for October, we are doing heart-centered business. And the reason why we're doing this is because we had so many femmes in our communities that were really losing their touch with their connection to their business and their brands. You know, it's been a very trying year. It's like whatever we thought is not, what we thought was red is now purple. Everything is just completely wonky. And so we wanted to have this conversation to help our femmes, whether you're a member or not. We wanted to help you to find that passion, find that love for the work that you're doing, whether it's in a side hustle, a small business, or perhaps you work for an institution, organization, or you carry the brand for another large company. This is for you. Our intention is to help you to find more love in the work that you're doing, or perhaps help you shift into that place where you do have more love. So that is my intention with Linda. We had a conversation in the green room, and that is our intention for you guys today. So feel free to ask questions as well. If you know Linda, please give some love too. We love to see some love come through, and we're going to kick off the week together. So Linda, what is a heart-centered business? And when we talk about that, what does that mean to you?
Well, to me, it means doing what you love and coming from that place, because I had a lot of jobs. I've got a resume a mile long, and there were some jobs I had that I had to drag myself in to go to work because I didn't like the people I was working with. I didn't like the work that I was doing. It was tedious. And the only thing I really loved was the building I was working in, because I was working on Parliament Hill. So that's how you know the difference. When you walk into a place, and even if you're working at home like we do in our offices, when I walk into my office, I feel my heart open. And that's the big, for me, heart-centered business opens your heart, doesn't shut it down, opens it up.
Love that. Love that definition. And you already have some love coming through. Lisa, who's one of our FemCity leaders, says, hey, Linda. We have a Facebook user saying good morning, and another Facebook user saying, hi, Linda and Violet. Hello to you, and thank you so much for joining us today. So how do you, I know that the work that you do naturally and easily comes through when it comes to heart-centered business. I mean, I've worked with you on a couple of projects and campaigns, so I know that that is your everything. But how do you really incorporate it in the work that you do? Are there specific techniques that you use that help to bring that heart forward and part of being that intention that you give to others?
Absolutely. And what I've found working with my clients that I have to apply to myself sometimes is when I start to close that down, it's because I'm not in my heart, I'm in my head. You know, it's an easy exercise to do. You just put your hand on your head and you just let it run around in there like a bit of a mad rabbit, if you know what I mean. Let it run around, and then just move your hand down to your heart. Suddenly the rabbit settles right down. It's calmed down, but I always have to physically take it out of my head and move it into my heart. And that's one of the ways that I do it. And I've seen it work. I've taught this to groups in some of my group coaching, and it works really well.
What are some techniques? And I love that, by the way. I love the, there's another technique that I learned of years and years ago, like when you have a really good memory or a good moment, if you pat yourself on your shoulder, and then when you don't have a really good moment and you need to kind of put your energy back into that good place, that if you tap on that shoulder that you've programmed to have that sensation of goodness, it'll divert it. So I'm a huge believer in the touch aspect of certain things. I know even when you put your hand on your heart, it makes me become more grounded. So I love that you shared that tip to those femmes that are watching or listening now or the replay. What would you say, or what are some techniques that femmes can use if they're feeling a little bit disconnected right now? Perhaps they've lost a lot of money, they've lost a lot of clients, or they have been furloughed or they've been let go, and they're really struggling to find that soulful connection to the work that they are doing. What are some tips that you would give to them to help them either rediscover it or perhaps find it for the first time? Maybe they've just never had it, and now they're realizing as they're listening to you, wow, I've never had that sensation. I've never found joy in any work, how can they start moving forward in that direction?
Well, the first thing we need to do is to cut ourselves some slack. Back off. This has been incredible for everybody. And I find, especially as women, we're really hard on ourselves. Why didn't I get that done? Why didn't I get this finished? I mean, last Monday, I was up to here in Facebook ads to the point that I was ready to just burst into tears. And Tuesday morning, it all fell into place. So we need to back off and have some patience with ourselves, have some understanding, treat ourselves the way we treat everybody else. That's the first thing. The next thing is to get crystal clear on what it is you want in your life. And often we don't know because we've stumbled from one thing to another thing to another thing, and we've forgotten ourselves. We've forgotten our heart's true desire. And when I heard that phrase a couple of weeks ago, it really got me spinning and thinking, what is heart's true desire? What is that? And of course, it's the heart, because it's our theme for the month of October. So not surprising that that came across. I think we need to really take a look at it, and it continues to change. Our heart's desire today is not the same as it was a year ago. Not at all. For every one of us, it's changed, it's morphed, and it's a time for renewal now. We need to let go of the old. I'm in Canada, in Ottawa, and the leaves are falling off the trees, and they're not hanging on, saying, oh, please, I don't want to go. They know it's time. So we need to let go, whatever it is that's not serving us, and spend the time and the energy with ourselves and with people we love.
I love those tips. So I'm taking notes. The first one, I think that I got a little bit of chills when you said that, because I think that women don't do enough of that, giving themselves grace. And so just kind of, I love that you said that, just, kind of pause and just, it's been rocky. I mean, we're not making it up. It's been like a really very challenging time. And I love that you said reconnect and rebirth. And I love, of course, that analogy of the leaves, that it's just the evolution, right? It's the growth that needs to happen. And so it needs to let go. I've always shared openly that when I've hit rock bottom, and I've hit rock bottom a couple of times, I always found it to be the most beautiful place once I can start lifting myself up, because it was like a reset. It was like, okay, Violet, you've lost pretty much everything. What's really important? What do you want your life to look at like now? Because you have that kind of stage of just at that rebuild. And that's where I was able to really craft and design my life. So I love that you use those words, reconnect, rebirth. And then of course that analogy with the leaves, I think it was just really beautiful. And you have some more love coming through, not in your heart and in your head. Good stuff, Linda. And you also have let go of what is not serving us. Yeah. Love that. Yes. And I think you only find that, what do you think, Linda? I think you only find that in those moments of trying to figure out who you are, how you want to serve, what's next. You only get that in that space. Would you agree? Yeah.
I totally agree with you that we do need to find that place, to find that gentleness in us, and then at the same time take action, because we want to really rekindle. You know, it's just like when you build a fire, you want to rekindle it so that you feel that passion, you feel that love, you feel that drive again. And I mean, like everybody, I lost a ton of money this time around.
Yeah.
I lost more at other times, but
Yeah.
yeah, it's still hurting. But, you know, we've still got, I said to my sister the other day, she's 81, and she said, oh, so bad. And I said, you know what, hon? We don't have bombs falling on our heads. We
Right.
don't live in a war-torn country. We have a roof over our head. We have food, and there's food in the grocery stores we can go buy. So
Right.
it's not so bad, is it? But you know,
Yeah.
right? It's not so bad. It's
Yeah.
not bad.
Love
You
that.
know, we can always reach out to another femme,
Right.
to have a conversation, to just say, you know, I just need to pick me up today.
Yeah. Yeah.
In
I
fact,
love.
I did that last week because those Facebook ads were putting me around the bend. So I reached out to one of the femmes, to Susan Rose, and
Oh, I love that.
copy for me. I said, like, is this in your wheelhouse? She says, oh yeah, absolutely. And she did some revisions for me. And it's like, oh, that feels so much better to know, just to know that I wasn't alone.
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh. So, so you have more love coming through. Regina, who's another global member, Linda is a true powerhouse, feeling blessing to know her. Lisa added, I found those connections come easier when I get really quiet and listen inward. And totally true. And Lisa, I'm going to piggyback on that. I have the best ideas and find the most amazing solutions when I am in the shower, quietly, right? There's no phone, there's no kids asking for things, or class when I used to go to spin class. I don't anymore, but when in spin classes, it was dark and no one was, no one, and I found all of my clarity, my groundedness in those moments of like just being still, just like listening inward. So I think that's why we get our most amazing ideas in those moments. And then Africa, all the way from Rio Grande Valley, she says, yes, be grateful for what we do have. And I love also that you shared that, Linda. I think that that's a really big thing that women do. And I don't know why we do that. We feel like we can't talk to other femmes, that we can't, or women, right? It doesn't have to be a FemCity member, but we can't have, hey, I really need a pick me up. I love that. Like, I just need some love. Could you just say something kind? Or, hey, Susan, can you help me out with this email copy? Like, I don't know where along the line we felt like we had to do everything on our own and we couldn't ask for help and we couldn't be vulnerable and we couldn't say, hey, I need a hug. I need a virtual hug. I don't know where we found that, but I love that you gave that as a prescription.
Yeah.
Because I find that really does help. I know I do that, so I know it really does help.
And what you said about the shower, you know, I love really fine soaps.
Yeah.
Especially if it's from France. If you go to France, you know, bring me back a bar soap. And I just love fine milled French soap. And when you're in the shower, it's the perfect time to let it go and to just let the water wash everything away. And you can even see it going down the drain. It's like, oh, yuck. It's that, just feel like the drain is a magnet that's just sucking out all of the negativity. And then you can use that magnet again to just bring back all the places where you let go your power and just attract it all back to you, because nobody can take your power. We give it away a little bit here, or we give a big chunk to fear. Fear is very power hungry. And so we give fear a lot of power. And instead of that, we can start magnetizing to have it back, because we are mystical, magical characters that can bring back our power.
Love that. So I didn't know you were a soap fanatic. I am too. I buy soap for people when I travel. I get them as a gift and I'm like, I think they think I'm crazy. Like, I'm not trying to tell you, you smell. I just love like specific soaps. So we are kindred spirits again in another topic. I was going to ask, oh, you know what? And I was thinking when you were sharing that story, I have a friend of mine who's a spiritual advisor, and she was saying that you can, much like what you were saying, that she had always advised, like, you can clean your aura with that, if you picture the water, taking all that negativity off. I hadn't heard that in so many years. I'm so glad you brought that up, because I used to do that so often that I kind of forgot about it. And now you've just reminded me, but that's a really great place to energetically, like you said, like release, and then, bring in the healthy energies that will support your destiny or your purpose or your alignment, whatever words you feel connected to. And so we have another Facebook user that says, asking for help is one of the most underdeveloped leadership traits. Absolutely. Absolutely. Final advice, Linda, that you have for femmes that are really, struggling right now to find that beautiful sweet spot of serving and being so passionate about the work that they're doing in this world?
If you have gratitude when you're in the shower, the studies prove that right away that's going to change things. And that's what we're talking about. But my number one thing would be make it zesty. If it's not zesty, it's not sustainable. It's got to have that bubble up giggle inside of you. And just do one thing. So let me tell you a quick story of a big win I had this weekend. My husband said to me yesterday, "What do you want to do today?" And I said, "I want those handles on that kitchen cupboard," because our long pantry did not have handles at the top. So he does all the cooking. So he opens the cupboard and then it's always greasy up there. One thing, we got those 2 handles on. And it felt so good because we've been in the house 6.5 years.
Oh,
That's when I bought the handles, because I changed all the handles on the cupboards, went back and bought 2 more because I felt they should have been there. 6.5 years later. And it's like, yes, we got it done. So there's my advice. Do one thing.
Love it.
One thing. Those big, long to-do lists, they all start with one thing.
Love it. I love that advice. And you know what? Also, when you do that one thing, you feel so good, right? Like you're like, oh my gosh, I did the one thing. What else can I do? You know what I mean? Like maybe you clean the cabinet after. Maybe you were like, go ahead and clean it with another cleaner, whatever it is. But I love that because it does something that it makes you feel not powerful, but it makes you feel accomplished and that you took care of something and that now you can move on and do something else that's amazing too. So I love that you shared that. One step. All right. So Lisa says, thank you, Linda. Going to do that one thing today. Awesome, Lisa. Let us know how it goes. Feel free to tag Linda or reach out to Linda or myself, obviously. We'd love to hear how it goes for you. Linda, can you mention the name of your book? I didn't even mention the name of your book when you came on.
It's called Zest Your Life. Let me pull it up here.
And also how people can find you if femmes want to connect. Oh, I love it. I love that cover.
Zest Your Life, A Taste of Inner Wisdom, endorsed by Dr. Joe Vitale of The Secret, Marcia Weeder, the CEO of Dream University, and she's been on Oprah. Well, they've both been on Oprah several times, I think. Well, she has. He hasn't yet. So that's where they can find me, is on my website is lindababulic.com. And I would encourage you, in the menu bar, there's a tab called Webinar. And you can register for the webinar that I'm hosting this Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. And it's called Rekindle Your Heart's True Desire.
Perfect theme. And it went out. So those of you that get our emails, it went out last week as a freebie. I think it's going out again today. I'm not sure. I didn't look at it, but I know it went out last Monday as one of our top freebies for you guys to take advantage of. So thank you so much, Linda. This is amazing. As you guys can see, why I adore her so much. I'm so grateful that she's in our community, sharing and so kind and giving to other members as well. So I'm very grateful that you are with us, Linda. Thank you so much for all the beauty that you add to this world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. FemCity has been a real gift.
Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you. It's going to be a really great end of the year. We're going to do it together, ladies. So we'll see you guys back next Monday. If you'd like to learn more about FemCity, hop over to femcity.com, sign up for our free trial, and we hope to get to know you and see you next week. Bye.